Yeah, he's progressing through the protocol.
No long-term concern there?
He's progressing through the protocol. Can't say much more on when guys are in the protocol except for that.
If the protocol's not related to he would be resting anyway?
I'm sorry?
Is that it? The protocol, like you have to recover from practice, is the fact that would be resting from practice anyway related to him still being in the protocol?
Guys, yeah, okay. I mean, he's progressing through the protocol. There's not much more I have for you on that, guys.
How's Dallas looked?
Yeah, he's had a good week. He's had a good week. Good to get him back out there. He's a heck of a football player, and we need him to accomplish the goals that we want to accomplish, and he's had a really good week.
What are your expectations for Tanner and Ian if they're the quarterbacks that played this Friday? What's your expectations for them? What do you want to get out?
Yeah, I want to continue to get better each and every day. That's been our mission this entire week for guys that are going to be playing in this game and guys that aren't going to be playing in this game. Is how do we progress? How do we get better? And so we're going through the week just like we would every other week, and expect guys to go out there and perform and play to the standard that we have set here.
How valuable opportunity is it to see like a lot of these guys who don't play a lot during the regular season, in real live game action?
Yeah, I think very much so. Every time they are out there on the field being evaluated, we put a lot of stock, obviously, in how we practice and with the tempo that we practice with and the intensity that we practice with. So we feel like we get great looks there. But when you go out there and you're tackling to the ground, it's full speed, or it's always full speed, but where it's live, obviously that's a little different. So great evaluation process for us on different guys.
Because this is a big developmental week, can you give us some insight into what Connor has meant to that program and what he's done for your staff?
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Really always enjoy my interactions with him, have a lot of interactions with him, gives me great perspective of different things. I lean on him a lot on different things of, hey, as a former player. And I do that same thing with Aaron Moorhead, being able to tap into that and, hey, what would you think here as a former? And so it's good having that perspective. And Connor is so committed to how do we continue to help guys get better, which speaks the same language as I do. And so that's why we have so many good conversations about it. Really value his opinion, really value his insight, really value him at this organization.
The developmental periods you talk about all the time, where did that idea come from?
We did that. We did that some in Indy. Frank, that was big with Frank. They had done that before I got here as well, and so it was good when we meshed those things together. And it's just so important. Again, these guys can't get enough of when you're on the scout team and you're not getting a lot of reps with the starters, then you don't rep your plays, right? You're doing what a card says. It's a lot different running a play when you hear it in the huddle and have to go process it and go do it, one of our plays, as opposed to looking at a card and say, do this. It's just different. And so we got to try to put them in positions to develop. I think, again, like I've said to you guys, one thing I learned really early on, it was college, but it was recruit, retain, develop, very early on from Coach Karras. And that, in the NFL, that's the same deal, right? Scouting takes the place of recruiting, and Howie and his staff do a great job of that, as you can see by our roster. And then our job is to develop them into players that they're capable of being, and that's their job as well. That's why you look for the certain things that you can that really matter to the development, and so you just try to continue to find ways to do different things to develop them. From extra meetings, don't want to give away everything we do, but another thing we do is every Friday or Saturday, it's to the discretion of the position coach. There's an extra meeting also with just that scout team player to go through their reps of practice as well, both from the scout team and from the developmental periods.
That's my nephew.
Very nice. That was very nice.
There was some context to what Saquon's been able to do this year. When you and Kellen first got together and started building the offense, did you, in your talks with the Eagles, with Howie, looking for a running back who could fill what you wanted to do, or how much changed?
Yeah, he can do everything, everything. Like he has every tool that you look for in running backs. And so there's, he's special. You guys see it. I mean, and so you got really open season on everything there in your playbook, and anything you've done, anything you've thought about doing, anything you would look at and say, man, could Saquon do this? The answer is yes. Mostly, not mostly, always, right? Hey, he'd be really good at this. And I think we come away when we do those conversations, when we look through a tape and watch a certain play that we might be considering putting in, it's funny. We say, hey, this would be good for Saquon. And I laugh. I'm like, well, everything's probably going to be good for Saquon. And so, he's just a phenomenal teammate, phenomenal player.
In the post-game speeches this year, the phrase you keep using is "do special shit." Is there background to that? Is there a backstory for why you kind of honed in on that message this year?
Yeah, I think what we've talked about is, we've won, 10 plus games the last, 3 years, and, that's good. And, we're excited about that. But, the extra stuff, the extra things are how you do special things. And I think just honing in on, hey, what is it? It's do special stuff, right? But it's the things that require you, what are the things that you have to do to win special things and do special things? And that's the commitment to connecting as a football team. That's the detail, right? That's the detail. That's the toughness. And it's just, we just talk about that over and over again because that's the common denominator, the accountability. Those are the common denominators of good football teams. And we know, and our goals are to do special things and special stuff. All right. And so, and that's our commitment to our standard of what we want to continue to get better at. And yeah, I think we've had a lot of success, and it's awesome to win the division, but our goals are higher, and then just getting in the playoffs or winning a division, right? We have our goals set on a higher goal. That still doesn't mean that you don't take it 1 week at a time, because the moment you start looking up, the higher you climb in the mountain, the moment you start looking up is the moment you start to slip. So our goals are to stay completely focused on where we are, but also know that our goals are higher than the cool things that we've been able to do so far this season.
When you think about all that you've accomplished this year, is there somebody, maybe a player, coach, someone in the building that maybe no one knows about or is unheralded that you think about really contributed to the success of this season?
Man, there's so many people. Because it is hard to spread the love to the outside of guys. I feel like
Your opportunity to give it to one person.
Yeah, and I don't think that's fair because there's so many that are able to do it. There's so many coaches. Kellen's had a great year coaching. Vic's had a great year coaching. Clay's had a great year coaching. Those are our coordinators, right? I mean, I just think about the job that Clint Hurt has done, Jeremiah Washburn's done, and again, Jamal Singleton, all these guys, and I'm going to feel bad that I'm not going to say everybody. Kevin Patullo's been awesome this year, and then I think about the guys that maybe aren't as recognized. Look at all the good things that Grant Calcaterra's done this season, and look at the development of Nolan Smith from this season of. All the things that he does, and Josh Sweat, they do so much of the dirty work. Some of these guys do so much of the dirty work that's not recognized, that we sure as heck recognize it. And so there's a ton of those people on our team, both in the building and on staff, and there's a couple. I gave you a couple. I didn't want to do that, but I gave you a couple because I do like that they get recognized. Obviously, I just can't recognize everybody that deserves to be recognized, but I appreciate the question.